Shout out to Apple. So they did their WWDC and they came out with their new iPhone. So they've got the iPhone 17 Pro, iPhone Air, iPhone 17, so we're going to kind of walk through a couple of these. I did see pricing wise, at least for the iPhone 17 and the iPhone Air, is not really that crazy, but for the iPhone 17 Pro, it can get up there, like upwards of $2,000. But let's look at I'm just gonna go to the Pro. Y'all want to look at the other one, y'all can. As far as the iPhone 17 Pro, let me see if I'm gonna get this thing. It says heat forged aluminum body design for exceptional pro capability. What else does it say? It says A19 Pro vapor cool for lighting, fast performance, breakthrough battery life. And then it says the ultimate pro camera system, all 48 megapixel fusion cameras. Wait, what? Fusion rear cameras and the longest zoom ever on the iPhone. Okay, well, that's cool. I mean, they kind of got to step that up because, the Galaxies are really killing with that. If you go to a concert, the Galaxy phones are where it's at, man. Like, so a lot of people I know that have iPhones, if I go to concerts with them, they do struggle with seeing like some things up close with the iPhone. So that's going to be a better experience for people who are out. You may be at a festival or something, may want to see something far away, and then now you can zoom. I think it's got like 8 times zoom now, which is cool. It says new center stage front camera, flexible ways to frame your shot, smarter group selfies, and so much more. So the great thing about this iPhone, right? Like when you're taking a selfie, or you might have your girl, y'all trying to take a picture together, whatever. Instead of like having to, flip the phone like portrait in order to do it, now you could just, I guess, take the selfie like how you regularly hold the phone. And because it's a new front facing center stage camera, squared, it doesn't matter if it's landscape or you're just holding it up vertical, so that will be a little bit more comfortable taking pictures. So I think that's kind of cool, actually. And then you've got iOS 26 new look, even more magic. And so they just got that okay, so some people, they don't really like the glass look of the iOS. I don't really care for it, honestly. I think Apple did a pretty good job with the other the older like iOS interface, but that interface that people become accustomed to now, people did not like previously. They're like, oh well, no, why are they changing the icons? Why does everything look so weird? Humans were never satisfied, but after a certain time you will probably get used to the new glass look of the iPhone. And the way they have it here, it does look kind of slick. The only issue is like if you're like running around and you need to get to something really fast, it's like you have to readjust to what everything is, like if we're used to color space like with our eyes, so you're used to looking at something with certain color and clicking on it because you know what it is. I think this is going to be a little bit more difficult, but it's a learning curve and people are just gonna have to get used to it. It's what it is. And then Apple says Apple Intelligence effortlessly helpful features from image creation to live translation. That is going to be very, very helpful. So when I end up traveling, right, like I just came back from the Netherlands like a month ago, the thing that's been helping me out like with traveling, going to different countries and stuff like that, is my Meta Ray-Bans. And I'm not sponsored by them at all. I'm just saying, like, when you go to different countries and it may be something that you may not understand, it's in a different language, the Ray-Bans are very helpful with telling you, like, what things are. So if they can do some sort of translation, I think that would be very, very helpful, So that's, shout out to Apple for that, thinking about, changing things up a little bit. It says view pricing, right? Let's see this. So the 17 Pro, which I think a lot of people are going to get, is the $45 a month. But let's see which ones. So for 256 gigs, it will be $1,099. So basically $1,100 for this thing. To 512 gigabytes is going to be $1,299. So basically $1,300 for 512 gigabytes. That's a lot. But we are in a time where they're increasing prices. Do I feel like a phone should really cost that much? No, but a lot of people are using their phones more than their computers now, so that is kind of interesting. So, but the prices are being bumped up. I mean, it's nothing we can really do. They are in control of the product. $14.99, so basically $1,500. It's like the pricing schemes, right? Like $14.99. It's really $1,500. 1 terabyte is $1,500. So that's going to equal out to $62.45 a month for 2 years. It's a lot of money for a phone. You know, the way they break it up is kind of, you know, but then how much are they going to want down on this phone? You know, but that's a lot of money for a phone, man. But then that's before we even get to the 17 Pro Max. Let's look at this. So if we go to the Pro Max, which people like me are going to want, right? Because you're going from a 6.3 screen to 6.9 inch screen. I'm a bigger guy. The pricing gets a little crazy, right? So for $1,200, you get the 256 gigabyte hard drive. 512 gigabyte hard drive is $1,400. And then the 1 terabyte hard drive is going to be $1,599. So they're making this thing like very, very expensive. You know, and it's a reason why they would want to do that, because they do sell you the cloud storage and all of that. You know, they want you to have a subscription, you know, for storage, you know, so let's make the hardware super expensive so that you don't want to do that. You would rather just pay us a monthly fee forever, you know. And then the 2 terabyte hard drive is going to be $2,000. So $1,999 for the 2 terabyte hard drive. This is going to be $83 a month, $83.29 a month. That is insane. I'm sorry, guys. Like that is insane. You know, even Samsung, their prices are creeping up to be crazy. This, like, $2,000 for a phone is ridiculous. I have to put that out there. Like, you know, I could buy it, but I'm not paying that for a phone. That's crazy. I'd rather get no. And then you've got, I guess, 4 different colors, right? You got the orange, the white, a blue, and then I guess it's just orange, white, blue. It's like a bluish color tint. I mean, other than that, what's up with the battery life is what I want to find out, y'all. Let's see this. Because they can say, oh, aluminum body, this and that, and unibody enclosure makes it strong, case for itself. Like, okay, it's strong, right? What is this battery life? It says a big zoom, 8x zoom, 48 megapixel camera. I think that's going to be good. And Apple always, you know, the great thing about Apple phones versus Android phones is that when you're using social media apps, you're going to get a better experience because, you know, iPhones are more uniform. The social media companies are better able to optimize the app to run on the phone. So like if you have Instagram, or even like if you're running on TikTok and stuff like that, the image is always, for the most part, gonna look better, you know, on an iPhone, which, you know, I understand because it's too much flexibility with Android phones and it's harder for them to optimize things for those. But so that's one thing. If you are a social media person, you are a creator, a lot of times the iPhone is it is what it is. It's the way to go. And then also, like, if you want to port things over to your Mac device, obviously you probably want to have an iPhone. You can do AirDrop. Go ahead and Final Cut Pro, do what you need to do, throw it up there, you know. So it's it says, like having 8 Pro lenses in your pocket, super high resolution, 24 megapixel photos by default. So that's pretty cool, right? Cameras look pretty beefy. I wish they would have done, I know a lot of people love the super thin phones, and, you know, maybe it's the manufacturers that just want to compete and make their phones thinner and thinner and thinner. When it starts, like, the top of the phone gets thick, and then the you know, the mid portion down from the phone gets like really thin, I think the phones look weird. I wouldn't mind if the phone was a little bit thicker. That way you would have more battery life. You know, because I'm more like, because I travel and do so many things now, battery life is very important for me. And I know they now have like a attachable external battery that can go on it, you know, that can fill that space gap to make it just look more uniform. But, you know, obviously it's going to be for more of a price to give you like the 40 hours of battery life. But it says 48 megapixel fusion main camera, And then it says 48 megapixel fusion ultra wide camera, and then a 48 megapixel telephoto camera. Okay, cool. Pro result down to the pixel. A lot of times when Apple does this, when they show photos like this, I've never seen an iPhone, when the iPhone is released, that has a photo that looks this good. I've never seen like anybody take a photo that looks this good. This is probably taken with an iPhone, but heavily graded, heavily edited. You know, I don't know how they did this, but if the phone can take an image that and make it look like this, that would be incredible. But you know, just it's been so many years that we've never really had phones that live up to the expectation of what they have on the website. 18 megapixel center stage front camera. It's a total frame changer. The new front camera gives you the flexible ways to frame your photos and videos and so much more. Tap to expand the field of view and rotate from portrait to landscape without moving your phone. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so all right, so that's what it is. You can just have your phone like this and you can just rotate, you know, how you want it, landscape or like vertical, without having to move your phone. So that's pretty cool. So it ends with friends, join the shot, the field of view expands so you get more frenzies in your selfies. Okay, that's cool. Okay, let's see. Ultra stabilized video. And that's one thing about Apple versus a lot of different manufacturers. They have very good stability. Like even if I'm doing a live video, like when I'm going from my Galaxy, you know, Ultra phone, and then I may like do another one with my older iPhone, right? The iPhone still has way better like image stabilization, you know, so they do a very, very good job with that. Any more, it says pro video, any more pro, and it would need an agent. All right, let's see what this looks like. Yeah, that looks crazy, but we'll see if if the phone can actually do that, you know. But Apple's been able to do a lot of remarkable things, you know. So I'm not as hard on them as other companies. Is because like the Apple Vision Pro. I don't know if you guys have seen like the what is it? Not the 360 video, but it's like a spatial video that you can look at through the Apple Vision Pro, and like just the technology with that is insane. Now Apple Vision Pro pricing insane, right? You know what I mean? No, I'm not, you know, I got it, took it back. Like, I'm not keeping that, you know, it's way too expensive. But what they were able to do with it was insane. You know what I mean? Very, very good technology. And, you know, when you got over $1 trillion, you can create amazing things. So hopefully the phone video would look this good. But you could tell, like, I do grading and stuff like that. I can tell this is graded. You can tell. That's not natural what the phone can do. It says ProRes RAW iPhone 17 Pro is the first smartphone to support this industry leading Apple development video codec, which offers the highest level of control and quality. All right, so what is it doing? Okay. So that's what it was. So, cause you know, I'm like, no, this looks graded. So you can shoot ProRes with this. Okay. And then you can, okay, that's cool. But, so, ProRes RAW settings, yeah, okay. And then you can just go in there and grade it. It says support a wider color gamut with Apple Log 2. And if you know anything about that, like if you do any film or anything, like, you know, like I've got, a Blackmagic, 12 Pro or something like that. Like these cameras, you know, they have like raw files, you know, and it's basically just like a super gray file, like no color on it. You put it into an editing software, and then you can extract colors and stuff from it, and it'll be even more vibrant than a regular like image or picture. So that's how they're able to get all of this HDR looking content out of here, you know, with the ProRes file. Okay, so that makes sense now. It says new dimensions and power. Whether you're working with intensive graphics or massive media files, iPhone 17 Pro offers blasting fast performance with advanced cooling technology and Apple design laser welded vapor chamber works with aluminum unibody structure to efficiently move heat away from the A19 Pro chip, allowing for even higher sustainable performance. This breakthrough in thermal management is key to the most powerful iPhone ever created. So you have to improve cooling if you're going to add a high performance chip in there. So that's going to be cool for people who like gaming, maybe, I think it's gonna be cool, like if you're exporting things like from editing software, it's gonna be faster, and your phone's not gonna heat up, so that's gonna be cool. It says A19 Pro chip, the Apple Silicon powering iPhone 17 Pro delivers the highest iPhone performance ever, ideal for advanced gaming and the most. I mean, but they're just saying like the highest performance ever. Like, where's the graphs? Where's the they're not giving you that. Graphics and speed paired with the innovative thermal design, the GPU and CPU delivers up to 40% better sustained performance. Okay, so we need graphs. Like, Apple can say anything. It says accelerators with the neural accelerator integrated into each GPU core. iPhone 17 Pro is more powerful than ever when working with local AI models. That's going to be important, right? AI is like pretty much taking over, so a lot of things are going to be AI based. So for it to be able to, okay, that's cool. Battery life all time high. All right, this is what I want to know. It says the new internal design creates significant additional room for battery capacity, giving the iPhone 17 Pro Max the best ever iPhone battery life and up to 4 more hours per full charge compared to the iPhone 15 Pro Max. From extended video playback to after hours work, it's always ready for overtime. Okay, so you get an additional 4 hours per charge. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty good. Like, iPhone's always been really good with battery life, at least in my experience. I always get the Pro models. But yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, the Max models, but yeah, this is crazy. It says up to 33 hours video playback on iPhone 17 Pro, up to 39 hours video playback on iPhone 17 Pro Max. That's crazy. 50% charge in 20 minutes with high wattage power adapter. 50% charge in 20 minutes. I mean, if it's got a bigger battery, and they don't want to overdo it, right? They don't want to charge this thing so fast to where it's going to cause issues and problems, but they want it to be somewhat fast, all right? So 50% charge, 20 minutes, that kind of seems like a wow for me, right? For something that's going to cost this much, it seems like it's taking a little bit of time, like, because you got to think if it's 50, so 40 minutes to charge this thing. I think they could increase that, but at the same time, if you increase that, you create other issues, so they probably just want this thing to last as long as possible. So they're probably throttling the charging speed. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really get too mad at them for that. Up to 40% faster 6-core CPU, 2 times faster 6-core GPU, 10 more hours video playback on iPhone 17 Pro, 16 more hours video playback on iPhone 17 Pro Max. All right, so that's cool. I don't know. Let's look at, a lot of people gonna want this. I don't know who's gonna want the Air. Let's look at the Air. Let's learn more about it. Actually, it looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I think this one looks like way better, honestly. Super thin, strikingly tight design. Yeah, this looks really good. New front camera. So this has got 18 megapixel center stage front camera, 48 megapixel fusion main camera, 4K 60 FPS Dolby Vision, 4 lenses in your pocket. So it's a little step down. Smell, okay. The one camera is kind of weird, but it gives it a better form factor, I think, on the actual body of the phone. Brilliant photos, blah blah blah. What's the battery life on this? Let's see. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit scaled down. It says up to 4 more hours video playback, up to 70% faster 5-core GPU. What is the battery life on this thing? They kind of, okay, up to 4 more hours of video playback. Okay, 40% faster. So they keep it to the video playback, 4 more hours of it. Okay. But they don't necessarily tell you every. All right. Well, I mean, as far as one thing I did notice, let me go up here, view pricing. With a lot of these phones, Apple got rid of the 128 gigabytes. So they're just moving straight to the 256 and then up. So this thing is going to be the Air. It's 256 gigabyte hard drive. You can get it for $1,000. And then 512 gigabyte is $1,200. And 1 terabyte is $13.99. So you got some decisions you got to make. It's 4 different colors you can have with it. How big is this screen? Now I'm interested. How big is the screen on this phone? So you get 27 hours video playback, 50% charge in 30 minutes. Is it telling you how? I don't think it's telling you the size of the screen. Yeah, 6.5-inch display. Okay. I mean, if you're coming from an iPhone that's like 3 years old, it might not be a bad way to go. This might not be bad, unless you really need like the telephoto cameras and all of that, which I do. Like I go to concerts, all different type of thing. Like I need that. And then sometimes if I can't see something, I'm out somewhere, I gotta be able to zoom in, and that's the one thing I love about my Galaxy phone is I can do that. So this would be a no-go for me. So if I had to get the new iPhone, it'd probably be the Pro Max version. But the pricing is just real crazy. What Apple, y'all pricing is crazy. I'm sorry for the storage, and I know y'all want to sell this cloud storage. It's really crazy. So I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Shout out to Apple. As far as innovation, I think this was a bigger leap than before in terms of physical design of the phone. I think it looks decent. It kind of is reminiscent of a Pixel to me. I think they kind of looked at that design and kind of went in that direction, if I'm being honest. But is it a letdown? Pricing, but as years goes on, things are gonna get more and more expensive. And one thing I was looking for with this phone is to see whether or not the SIM was gonna be accessible, and it looks like it's not. Like it seems like everything is just stuck in there, and that's one thing I don't like. Like, 'cause my old phones, I could just pull my SIM card out and put it in a different phone and it's good. The eSIM, I think it works better than the traditional SIM cards, so maybe that's why they went that route. But I really think they just don't want you to open the phone at all and mess with anything. That's what I think. And I kind of don't like that because I think it's more limiting than anything. Like, I might want to buy a different phone just to try it out, buy something from China, buy something from somewhere just to try it out. And it would be a headache. I would have to go to my carrier, have it switched over, do all that, like just to switch phones for a little while, and for me having multiple phones, different contacts and different phones, different things I do with different phones, this will be a headache for me, but I do like the Pro Max. I will say that. But y'all tell me what y'all think down in the comment section below. Comment, rate, subscribe, let me know what y'all think about that. Peace.